Hi, everybody. I'm trying to be quiet again because somebody's sleeping. Um, anyway, this is a response to Samantha. Sorry, I have dogs. Babysitting puppies this morning. Okay. Anyway, she is talking about leaving Wicca and, kind of moving away from Wicca and paganism. And yeah, he's been digging himself again. Anyway, he's normally exceedingly curly. Anyway, she was talking about how, none of the deities out there, and especially with Wicca and stuff, how they don't resonate with her anymore, and how she's been working with her own energies and creating things. And she had pointed out that she's making dream catchers, whatever she feels like doing. And first off, I wanted to say that, over the years, I've sold a ton of dream catchers. I've had several that look like the one she showed in the video. And when I first met with tribal elders from the Ojibwe, they were saying I was honoring their culture. So that's not something to be ashamed of. And really, the thing there too is that what I've run into over the years with Native American crafts, because I grew up with that stuff, is that I get more complaints from white people about cultural appropriation than I do from Native Americans. The elders had told me many times that they don't want their culture lost. So I thought I'd put that out there first. I got my chair back. Then as far as creating her own oracle cards and creating her own deities and energies that she's working with, I guess that makes me think I probably was pagan long before, or a practicing witch long before I realized, because even when I was 11, I was doing a lot of writing and kind of creating gods and goddesses and stories around them and stuff like that. And that was very cathartic for me, and it was helping me get through a lot of things. I put my characters through hell. I've put gods through hell. But some of them have lived to this day. Some got meshed with other religions once my husband and I started writing together and stuff. Like we have the brothers. We have pagan, which actually is, if you had played Neverwinter Nights, there was a tool in there to create languages, and that actually was the Beast Lord in Orc. Well, we started meshing that with Aztec for some reason. It just came together. And so we had the brothers pagan and Tezcatlipoca. And I have a whole legend about them on my website, which I think I have to repost anyway because they doubled the price and I can't afford it. I'm going to have to find somewhere else for hosting. But anyway, about their mother, about their creation. The Celestial Clutch by the dragons Siran and Arya. Arya being the Earth Mother because she was the mother of the egg that was the planet. There's all this lore that I did, and it's around this hollow world system. But the deities themselves had become very real to me for many, many years. including David Dragon's song, The God of All Music, and the one he got his power from when he accidentally killed her, Angelita, who was the goddess of music. I mean, all of these had become very real for me for a long, long time. So I guess I created my own paganism in some respects. And, I've hung on to their stories for years. I quit writing and went more into the art because I figured I'm a much better artist than I am a writer. And so, yeah, I get my energy, I get my inspiration even from creating things. You'd think most people get inspiration and then create. Sometimes it's while I'm creating. And that's my witchcraft for me. I've found myself, while I still identify as Wiccan, I've more than often just called myself a witch. Because I've moved away from Wicca in a lot of ways. It's still very close to me. That was when I first realized what I was. And, as I've said in other videos, Scott Cunningham's book, The Truth About Witchcraft Today, kind of opened my eyes. It was like, holy cow, this is me. And I'd gone into Wicca and dedicated myself and things like that, and it was phenomenal. But I think, Samantha, for one thing, you've run into what I have, is you find a lot of circles and a lot of covens out there kind of dictate to you what you have to believe. And while I love the coven that I attend, I haven't gone into their initiation. I haven't officially joined, and we have open circles all the time anyway. So we've had Christians come in just to see exactly what witches do, all sorts of things. So it's not a problem at that point. But I just can't force myself into a particular mold. That's why I left Christianity, because they were trying to force me into every church I went. They tried to force me into their mold, and I've never believed that. And I think too, with accepting of science and accepting of evolution of cultures on this planet, and all of that has kind of, in the last few years, and I have to admit, I credit Thunderfoot, I credit Aaron Ra for that, because I learned a shit ton of stuff, especially from Aaron Ra. Oh my God. Just on evolution and biology and everything. And then, of course, Wildwood Claire, and she definitely was an influence as well, because the learning expanded who I am, really. And it kind of deepened my understanding of what I am, who I am, and where we evolved. And I think part of what modern witches are doing is that we have to adapt to what we have become evolutionary wise. And so paganism in itself is changing, and it's adapting to this modern world, to this urban world. And I think you're probably in the same spot that I am in a lot of areas. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. I know people would probably be really, really ticked off about it, and there's a lot of, staunch people out there saying, well, you have to do this and you have to do that. And no. That's what a solitary is. We don't have to do anything. I mean, the fact that there are times that I still turn around and pray to Jesus if I'm really stressed and I need healing for somebody, well, to me, that Christian pantheon, Jesus is there to protect humanity from his abusive father. I'm sorry, if you look at the whole story there, that's what that is, and it's a terrifying pantheon, actually. But there's healing there, and sometimes I will call on that. Other times it's breed. But I found that most of the Wiccan side of me, all of the gods and goddesses have become faceless. They've become formless. Or I will see ones that some of them not even named. I've had dreams of Tezcatlipoca, the smoking mirror. I've had, recently at that, I have seen the incarnations of Buddha another time. And then some mixture of Hindu and Greek or something, this woman. That was a fairly recent one too. And I'm writing those in my journal. So even the gods and goddesses that I'm seeing are different than what I've ever seen before. And otherwise, there's nothing. Well, I have statues of Isis, and I'm going to keep my statues. I'm going to keep all those things because they are very special to me. I find them beautiful. My altar's got a coyote hide on it. I've got Anubis. I've got a figure, actually a rock that was shaped like a fertility goddess that I found in the Mississippi riverbed. I mean, all these odd things, and no, I enjoy them. They're part of my sacred space, and they will remain such. But even my altar, I've been using it to photograph artwork more than I've been doing anything else with it. And it's storing my candles and stuff like that. But I think I've gotten to the point where maybe I do 2-3 spells a year. That's not the kind of witch I am. And I had to come to that realization that it's not something I need to feel guilty about. Because I'm not a ritual magic person, I guess. And if people want to turn around and tell me that I'm doing things wrong or whatever, tough. They're not inside my body. They don't have my heart and my mind. I'm still very dedicated. But I think I've become more dedicated to the human species overall than I have anything else. And it's not worshiping the human species, of course, but it's just being human and being part of this massive ocean of bodies and everything that we are. We're all connected. We all evolved from, I've seen Lucy. I've been to the Smithsonian and to the Field and to the Museum of Natural History in New York. I mean, I've seen these exhibits. I've seen our ancestors. And so when I am at a ritual or doing a ritual and I call on the ancestors, I'm calling on the ancients and, from way back. At one ritual, it kind of surprised everybody. We were doing Dark Moon, and they said, well, yeah, go ahead and call the ancients and saints. Well, we've got all these different, versions of humanity mixed into our blood, Neanderthal and all these other ones in there. So I went beyond that. And I cited how old the human species is and everything else during that ritual, and the priestess is like, wow. And she's like, you could actually feel it too, though. Because we came from something so ancient and so primitive that it's mind-boggling. And I hope we have a good long future, but I think being solitary with our faith is the future. It's going to be up to each individual if they believe in gods and goddesses or not. And this whole thing of people dictating to others what they have to believe is going to fade away. There's probably going to be a lot more people who are atheist. There's going to be a lot more people like you and me, because everybody's going to realize, yeah, it's okay to be myself. And so I just wanted to put that out there because I thought your video was very powerful. You made some excellent points, and don't let anybody get you down on that one. And don't let the downvotes get you down. You're on your own path. And what you said resonated with me, and I just wanted to put that out there. And to anybody else out there, well, to my atheist friends, a little bit more about where I'm going now, but, and some of where I've been, but, to other Wiccans out there and stuff, just, if anything, take what I say with a grain of salt, but that's where I'm going. And just remember, we're all individuals, and we have to follow our heart as well as our learning and our intellect. And learning doesn't mean just new age woo. It doesn't mean just learning what somebody else tells you. Take into account reality as well. Everything has to be in balance, and if you have your head in the clouds too much, then you have a long way to fall when you realize that your feet are not on the earth. So, that's about it. So blessed be everybody. Have a great day.